Welcome everyone to this new episode of Change Talk, a program dedicated to transformation in the companies, told by those who lead this transformation. Today I'm very happy to welcome Chloé Dupont, Group Head of Digital Transformation at Veolia, and she will share with us two initiatives that are changing the way Veolia is making business and driving value, both for its employees and its customers. These initiatives also illustrate how digital and tech can contribute to the ecological transformation. Good morning, Chloé.
Good morning, Flor.
Thank you very much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So my first question is, what is nowadays Veolia ambition?
So Veolia's ambition is to become the benchmark for ecological transformation. That means adapting to climate change, it means treating pollutions, optimizing natural resources, as well as improving the quality of life. And if we think about tomorrow, at the beginning of 2022, with the arrival from new colleagues from Suez, that will definitely help us go a step further in that direction. So that's really the ambition of Veolia, ecological transformation. What role does digital and tech play in all this? It's definitely a key business lever to help make ecological transformation a reality. One that we've gained in maturity over the past few years, and that is basically inevitable for the future. And if we think about the way they are linked, we are convinced that if we combine our business expertise, so expertise in the water sector, energy and waste sector, so our people across the globe, with digital solutions, with innovation and data, we can definitely go a step further, for ecological transformation, and therefore serve all our stakeholders, which is what we call our multifaceted performance at Veolia. So it's not only about the financial performance, obviously is one key element, but also how we deliver value for our employees, for customers, as well as for the society and the planet.
So concretely, how do you accelerate those projects? How do you select them? How do you nurture them?
So I will probably refer to one of our acceleration programs that we launched a couple of years ago that is called Veolia Digital Solutions. It's basically about identifying first what are the key business challenges that we're facing, and we're involving a number of decision makers to highlight those key business challenges. That's where we start. And then it's about understanding, can digital be part of the solutions? And what are the solutions that we can develop to answer those challenges? So that's really where we start from. And then it's about dedicating, top digital profiles. So it could be centrally, it could be locally, to develop the solutions. So it could be, data scientists, could be developers, scrum masters, you name it. So develop the solutions, and then we really have an ambition to scale them across the group. And if you look at, what we've been doing over the past few years, some solutions are already deployed in 10 countries, and the most advanced one in more than 30 countries, which is quite encouraging for us. And at the same time, I think one aspect that is really interesting with this acceleration program as well is that it's a great opportunity to actually share digital knowledge, share the skills, train people, and share the digital culture within Veolia. And typically, everybody who is involved in this Veolia Digital Solution program is trained on Agile, for instance.
So, for what business lines have you developed these Veolia digital solutions?
So To give you maybe two examples, one of the solutions that we've worked on has been developed for waste treatment, and in particular hazardous waste. Hazardous waste is basically waste that is coming from the nuclear industry, pharmaceutical industry, hospitals, etc. So really specific type of waste that we're collecting in a specific way and that we have to treat in a very specific and careful way. And in that case, digital is helping us really understand the type of hazardous waste that is coming to our incineration plants. So there is a traceability element allowed thanks to digital and data, ensure that we have the right mix going into that plant, and also use digital as a way to detect and prevent unwanted events on those incineration plants. So there is a key element of operational performance here.
So you can say that digital increases both the industrial efficiency and also the ecological safety.
So that's exactly that. I think that's spot on. Digital as a key lever, for our business efficiency and to serve our ambition for ecological transformation. Maybe a second example to illustrate this on another sector. What we do for in the water sector. Veolia operates in a number of areas in the water sector, from producing drinking water, managing the networks so that you and I can have tap water in the morning every day, and then also treating the wastewater so that it can be released in the safe way in the environment. And digital in all this and digital solutions can help us in a number of respects. If I'm thinking about water networks in particular, there is a big challenge to reduce the leaks that we have on water networks to preserve this natural resource. And this is where digital with sensors, with analyzed data can help us be extremely reactive to reduce, first identify and then reduce those leaks and therefore preserve the environment. So in these two examples, as you can see, it's definitely topics that were developed internally to start with, to serve a more operational purpose, I would say. But naturally, as we're gaining in maturity, we are seeing value that could be brought to our customers as well, which is why we've decided to launch a new range of services, of digital services that we call Upgrade.
Upgrade. So now let's have a look, maybe let's dig deeper on this Upgrade project. And to start with, let's watch a short video that explains it.
Perfect.
Faced with the environmental emergency, how can we reduce the impact of our human activities? How can we provide sustainable and economically viable solutions? Upgrade services are both digital and human and provide answers to these two questions. By using large amounts of data to remotely visualize, evaluate and optimize resource management, they deliver a better environmental performance for industry and the service sector and a better life quality for communities. These services enable us to take care of water at every stage of its cycle. They are based on real-time monitoring of installations and networks, thanks to data collected by our teams, by sensors, or by drones. Upgrade services also provide the means to make buildings intelligent by optimizing their energy consumption and generation, and even making them energy positive. They also make it possible to control indoor air quality with a direct impact on users' health. Upgrade services take waste recovery even further. They ensure traceability and meet logistical challenges of cities. They optimize the transformation into resources. These services allow for preventive and even predictive action. A unique and innovative approach for our clients to help them take action and to enable us to intervene in a targeted, simple, and flexible way. Combining historical know-how and data innovation, Hubgrade solutions are there to meet the challenge of environmental transformation.
So Chloé, why are you launching Hubgrade now, and what needs is it responding to?
So Hubgrade's services were actually launched around a year ago for all our activities, so water, waste and energy across the globe. And why now, I would say, basically because we had gained this maturity internally, and in a number of geographies we're starting to offer it externally, which was great. And at the same time, we had these requests from our customers, so this pull from the markets. So that's really what made us structure this range of digital services that we could offer to all our customers across the globe.
And what in detail Hubgrade is offering?
So it's about 3 main services powered by digital. The first one is called Connect. So it's really about connecting our customer assets, providing them with data, transparency, visibility in real time. So that's the fundamental, I would say. The second one is called Support. So it's about going a step further, providing recommendations, advice to specific operational challenges that our customers can face. And the third one is called Improve. So it's the most added value one, where we can basically, go a step further and act to improve the operational and environmental performance of our customers directly. And this is where we have more, added value things like, crisis management that has been particularly useful during the COVID crisis, indeed.
And what were the key factors internally that were there so that you could create Hubgrade a year ago?
So for me, I think it's all the work that has been going on over the past few years that is usually hidden, but I would say necessary to gain in maturity everywhere. So we had this big ambition over the past few years to gain in terms of our digital maturity everywhere within Veolia. So we operate in around 40 countries. So we wanted, every country to reach a certain maturity, and for the ones that were more advanced to continue to progress, obviously. So it meant a lot of things. If I refer to data, for instance, gaining in terms of data maturity, it meant putting in place things like data lake. It meant also thinking about our data governance and the new roles that needed to be created to manage data. It meant developing some technical bricks that we called data foundations. It meant building muscles on data science, you name it. So, it's been a lot to do on the technical side, as well as important aspect, I would say, is on the skills side, on the people side. Training people on these new skills, or recruiting when we needed to be quick, and changing the organization that go with them. So I would say this gain in maturity everywhere has been really what helped us, be fully ready to offer it at a global scale.
Okay, so on the technical side, you were ready. On the people side, on the organization side, you were also ready. But what does this mean really on the field practically for, Veolia employees?
So that's a really good question because it means a lot of changes, a different way to do a job. We actually have a really interesting testimony that we gathered a couple of months ago when we did a dedicated event linked to digital for our operators. It's a testimony coming from the Papakura contract in New Zealand, and I think that illustrates really well what it changes on the ground.
It's very beneficial for me because I can see everything at a touch. I've got my wastewater assets, my water lines, my traffic, and my vehicles and the jobs all in one page, so it makes it a lot easier to figure out who's going where for the day and who I can send to urgent jobs, who's the closest.
So I think this video illustrates really well the fact that with digital solutions, with data, operational jobs like the dispatcher that we've just seen are completely changed because they can see everything at a touch. They can act much more quickly and therefore operate even better. That's obviously an example of using upgrade services in New Zealand, but once again that's also something that is available in all the countries that Veolia operates in.
So upgrade needs was coming from the client, but now that it's launched, how are the clients responding?
So as you said, there is definitely requests from customers to have access to those services. So there is that they are keen to see that we are doing that for all our activities in all the geographies that we operate in, and it's about providing additional value, being a differentiator in terms of what we offer to our customers, and if I give you an example of additional value brought by those digital services, I would refer to what we do in the energy sector for building energy services. So it's basically services that we provide to buildings, could be airports, could be hotels, could be universities that have a big challenge to reduce their energy consumption. And when, depending on the investment, we were usually able to reduce energy consumption by 10 to 20% by bringing on top upgrade digital services with machine learning, artificial intelligence. We're able to go to an additional 5 to 10% reduction. So it's really key, in terms of the value that we can deliver. So basically, if we think ahead of us, we have these solutions that exist, and our ambition is to deploy them where they make sense, where they can have the most impact for our customers. So that's a key ambition. And at the same time, what we usually say at Veolia when it comes to our ambition for ecological transformation is that half of the solution already exists and half of the solutions are still to be invented. And that definitely applies to digital. And so, we are obviously starting to see, new requests coming from customers who want to go further in terms of the value that digital can bring, more predictive and prescriptive analytics. And so we really hope to, continue to develop and invent these new solutions with, our key stakeholders, and clients will definitely be part of this.
So it's a co-construction with your customers.
Exactly that.
So upgrade seems to be a very interesting and promising business model and revenue streams for Veolia for the future. And on the HR side, if I go back to HR again, what skills does it require internally?
So you're right to mention it, because it's definitely a key point. I would probably say three things. The first thing is that we see jobs that are evolving. We saw this testimony from New Zealand. So operational jobs that are evolving because of digital, because of data. So it's a new way of working, it's new organizations. That's also the case for sales jobs. Our salespeople across the globe selling a 20-year operational and maintenance contract is not the same thing as selling a digital service. So there's been a lot done in terms of understanding the value for our customers, thanks to Voice of Customers, a lot done in terms of training those sales team as well. So, jobs that are definitely evolving. Then the second aspect is jobs that are stepping up, I would say. So profiles that we've recruited for a few years now, developers, data scientists, etc. And we definitely see an increase in terms of the jobs, of these type of jobs across the globe. Some of them come directly from internally, and they've been trained and changed up and moved to developers, for instance, which is usually great to see. And in other cases, we're also recruiting from outside, when we need to have exactly that, new profiles, a certain speed to answer to the markets. And the third one, I would say, is probably newer profiles, newer jobs for Veolia around product management. That is definitely something that we see a lot in the tech industry, really much embedded today. And product manager in the sense of profile, thinking about the value that a digital product can bring. Very much, aware of the user needs, thinking about the UX, UI, how we can develop the solutions, how we can deploy it. So in that sense, and I would say it's relatively newer jobs for Veolia, but definitely an area where we want to progress.
And probably new methodologies as well, design thinking.
Exactly, that's all the ways of doing things that go with them, absolutely.
So now, for your digital transformation at Veolia, what would you say are the main challenges?
So, if we look at the challenges ahead of us, I would say that they are probably twofold. The first one is to continue to embark everybody in this journey. When we say digital transformation, there is digital, but there is also transformation, and making sure that we embark all our stakeholders is extremely important. We've talked about operators and employees generally. They are obviously a key population that we're targeting. We haven't talked so much about managers, but they are also, key in terms of leading the change within Veolia. And in our organization, where digital transformation is fully embedded, they are in charge and they are fully empowered to drive this change locally. And at the same time, they are living this change on a daily basis. So managers definitely. And we've talked about clients as well, making sure that we continue to embark them in this adventure, we continue to co-create with them. And the good news is that they are usually very keen and they usually have really high expectations, which is great to continue to move forward with them. So continue to embark everybody. Is definitely a challenge. I would say another one is to do things in the right way for the planet. It's obviously at the heart of what we do at Veolia, and what we've done in terms of Veolia Digital Solutions Upgrade is using digital and data to go further and help make ecological transformation a reality. So that's part of the answer. But at the same time, we also know that when it comes to CO2 emissions linked to digital, we are around, I think, 4% of emissions at a global scale. When you look at Veolia and our specific business, it's around 1% of CO2 emissions. So it's far from being the majority. That being said, we know that the global trend is going to increase in terms of this proportion, and so we need to continue to do things to optimize and reduce the CO2 emissions linked to digital. And so there are a number of things that we are doing within Veolia. Some of the things are a bit more technical, so making sure that we use the cloud in terms of the architecture that we use, so going to serverless, etc. The devices as well, to make sure that they last longer. And the last part is more on the usage. And there is a lot to do in terms of how we use digital technologies to once again optimize and reduce the CO2 emissions. So I would say challenges ahead, continue to embark everyone and do it in the right way for the planet.
So I pick up one word you said adventure. So really this adventure is about business, customers, employees, skills, organization and environment. So it's really a 360 movement and a very exciting transformation ahead. So thank you again, Chloé, for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching, and see you soon in a new episode of Change Talk. Bye-bye.